What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 2.83%, 356 the low, 366 the high. And you're seeing a little bit higher volume over the last couple of trading days as the market does digest NIO's earnings. So for face value, their earnings wasn't all that great. So they did miss on a lot of the key metrics. So missed on earnings per share, revenue. You also did have a lot of their numbers. So revenue kind of quarter over quarter go down quite dramatically. Year over year still looks fairly good, but quarter over quarter wasn't necessarily the best. Their margins, both vehicle and gross, were lower than even last quarter. So I believe it was 10.7. That's what the vehicle margins were, and gross came in at 7.6. So all in all, wasn't that great. But what has really saved NIO in the past, because as I brought up even in the video leading into their earnings, they usually do miss on a lot of their key metrics, but they give good future guidance, and that is exactly what saved them this time around. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of high expectations, so they set more milestones and benchmarks for themselves, and we've already seen how the market treats them if they do not hit those milestones. So they kind of talked on expansion. Chips seems to be fairly good, so that might be a pretty good catalyst for them going forward. So yeah, I think all in all, pretty good stuff. A couple other things that I do see that they was also kind of high milestones is in Q4 Onvo to have monthly sales of 25,000. So again, I really wish whoever at NIO would just stay quiet. It's good if they hit these, but so far I think NIO has a pretty bad track record of hitting these kind of milestones. So I feel like come Q4, if NIO starts to go down, obviously we kind of know a lot of the reasons why. But I think all in all, that's been one thing that has really helped NIO over many of the earnings is good future guidance. So I think this might just be a one-off. A lot of analysts are really liking what they saw. So you did have, well, obviously this one isn't bullish, but you did have a $3 sell. Barclays analyst has a 54% success rating, $4.30 price target. By Bank of America, analyst has a 40% success rating, $8.10. So that is the highest analyst rating out there for NIO, and that was done by Citi. Jeff, who has a 37% success rating, and then 490 DBS. So those were some of the recent ones that did come out today. And so right now the market is digesting that alongside a lot of, from what it seems to be, very bullish articles. So again, that's some good stuff, at least that's pushing it higher. Aside from that though, couple ones did come out yesterday. So you had 350 Mizuho, 390 Macquarie, and then 590 by Morgan Stanley. So all in all, good stuff. Had a very nice recovery from the lows or overnight or whatever it was at 332. So give yourself a shout out if you did buy. When I saw it pulling back, I was tempted to buy, probably should have, but I think at that stage I was more focused on a lot of the key metrics, which were a little bit scary in all honesty. But aside from that though, looking at shorts that are increasing 185,000 shares, 13.75% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 221.21 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts definitely did double down over the last couple of trading days, despite it really moving higher. So this is where, if you do believe in short squeezes, you never know. Shorts are increasing, and if NIO does continue this good momentum, or even better yet, gets above the 50-day moving average, then this is where things could get kind of real very fast. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, looking at the options, 81,000 in calls, 87,000 in puts. And I'll give you a quick overview of yesterday. So this does encumber, of course, their earnings. You had 2.7 million in calls, 2.2 in puts. 73% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. So that's definitely welcoming to see at the end of the day. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Based on the options, the bullish options, you see a consensus for it to be above that $4 range, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub. There's not really much bearishness going on, but for it to be sub 350. You're seeing a little bit of an increase in the dark pool transactions. So yesterday, I'll give you a quick summary of that. And my apologies not doing a video on NIO yesterday, but these are all the transactions that did occur yesterday on the dark pool. So fairly active stuff. So institutions were clearly buying up NIO. So the next round of 13Fs should be a nice increase on a lot of different fronts. So that's always a good thing. But at the end of the day, I think NIO just needs to execute. That's the moral of the story, right? So that's what pretty much Wall Street is just waiting for, NIO to really ramp up, hit profitability. And then once that happens, then you should be, that should be a natural deterrent against shorts, which has been really plaguing NIO for a very long time, alongside geopolitical issues. But things, I think, seem to be calming down from what I can see on social media. So that's always a good thing. But right now with it at 363, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 361 is going to be a strong support, followed by 351. But I think NIO does have some pretty good momentum. So it's one of the outliers today. A lot of stocks are kind of pulling back. So NIO, again, is kind of a good thing, getting a lot of attention from institutions so far today. Next strong target is going to be 371, followed by 373. On the actual chart, you really want to watch for this 50-day moving average. So that is sitting at 382. If it is able to get above that, then this is where you could easily see that $4 range, because ultimately you have that 100-day moving average at 412 and then that 200 at 457. So let me know your thoughts on NIO in the comments below. What was some of the key highlights from their earnings that you really, really liked and that potentially prompted you to buy more? Or flip side, did you panic and did you sell during this crazy sell-off right here? Like, what was your general thoughts on NIO? So with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching. One final thing, pop over to my Discord. It is completely free. A lot of good people talking about stocks, options, crypto, everything that you ever need in life. And there is a lot of NIO investors in there. So definitely worthwhile to kind of pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.